Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, everyone. Assalamu alaikum. Welcome, everyone. Thank you for joining us. I welcome you to the second day in the Muslimah Writer Conference 2020. Yesterday's sessions were amazing. All the speakers were amazing. The sessions were mind-blowing, they were insightful, and I know that if you were here yesterday, you know that you took a lot of gems away. Now, today, Walaikum salam wa rahmatullahi. Zainab Sulaiman, please, thank you for joining us. Please tell us where you're watching from. Tell us where you're joining us from in the comment section. Now, today, our first presentation is going to be facilitated by a creative writer. Her name is, let me start by telling you her name. Her name is Maryam Abdulwahab. She's a creative writer, a news writer, and a social media strategist. She's also a lifestyle blogger. She's a first-class graduate of economics from Al Hikmah University, and she's currently studying Masters of Business Administration at the University of Ibadan in Nigeria. That's in Nigeria. She lives and breathes literature. Her works have appeared on a number of websites, including springng.org, wednext.com, ub2.com, crossrivertimes.com.ng, myfico.com, and a host of others. When she isn't writing prose or blog posts, she's reading a book on fantasy or studying events around her. She enjoys reviewing books and movies. She has a knack for broadening her scope of knowledge by enrolling for online courses and reading educational books. Maryam updates thrilling articles on her blog. Yes, you should follow her if you are not following her. Her stories are... she updates thrilling articles on her blog, ranging from food recipes to book recipes and captivating stories. Yes, I said that just now. You'll also find personal development tips and rants about Lagos living. She writes from Lagos, Nigeria. So that's just a brief bio about our guest for today. And she's going to start the talk about top myths about writing. Debunked. She's going to debunk and demystify some myths about writing. So, Assalamu alaikum, Mr. Maryam. Say Assalamu alaikum to everyone right now.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, sisters. How are you doing this morning? Hope you have great plans for the weekend and hope you're staying safe. Okay. Inna alhamdulillahi nahmudu wa nasta'inu wa nastaghfiruh wa na'udzu billahi min shururi anfusina wa min sayyiati a'malina. Man yahdihillahu fala mudilla lahu wa man yudlil fala hadiya lahu. Wa ashhadu an la ilaha illallah wahdahu la sharika lahu wa anna Muhammadan abduhu wa rasuluh. Qala Allah ta'ala يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون. وقال تعالى يا أيها الناس اتقوا ربكم الذي خلقكم من نفس واحدة وخلق منها زوجها وبث منهما رجالا كثيرا ونساء واتقوا الله الذي تساءلون به والأرحام إن الله كان عليكم رقيبا. وقال تعالى يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله وقولوا قولا سديدا يصلح لكم أعمالكم ويغفر لكم ذنوبكم وَمَنْ يُطِعِ اللَّهَ وَرَسُولَهُ فَقَدْ فَازَ فَوْزًا عَظِيمًا. You're welcome to another session of the Muslima What's Meets Writer Con. We'll be treating a fascinating topic, one that would keep you glued to your seats. Okay, before then, I would love to introduce myself again for those who don't know me. I'm Maryam Abdulwahab, but please take note, it is pronounced Maryam and not Miriam, like most of you pronounce it. Okay, I'm a creative writer, content developer, social media strategist, and lifestyle blogger. Okay, before we proceed with today's lecture, I would like to talk about how writing has been a life-changing experience for me. I mean, if someone had told me 5 years ago that I would become a professional writer, I would roll my eyes and shake my head in disagreement. But here I am, a professional writer. I'd always wanted to become a writer. Right from when I was very little, I knew that nothing else could bring me greater fulfillment other than writing. So even when I was still studying in the university, yeah, economics, I was studying economics. I was a part of the literary society, and I also spent time writing stories and planning towards creating a platform to showcase my work when I graduate. Becoming a professional writer was not a decision I planned on making after graduation. It just happened, and I have no regrets. However, it wasn't a simple decision to make. I actually had to face my fear and ignore the common misconceptions that surround writing. What about creating my blog and sharing content to my social media platforms? It took a lot of courage to put my work out there. And social media has been one of the best platforms that has assisted me in showcasing my work. I'm saying this because I know there are several of us who are still scared of writing and showcasing some of our works because of what people might say. Will I be seen as a good writer? How can I match with several skilled writers on Facebook and Instagram? Will people fill my inboxes with several corrections about my work? But believe me, no writer became skilled in a day. And it comes as no surprise when people comment that my writing is getting better. I'm always glad to hear this because it shows that I'm growing, and I practically cringe, yes, when I read works that written years ago. But this shows that my writing keeps improving. And I tell myself, did you really write this, Maryam? Well, I'm saying this to encourage you all to pursue your dreams without fear, to seek fulfillment by debunking the myths about writing. I may not be where I am today, but I may not be where I am today, yeah. But I wake up with a smile, knowing that I'm working towards gaining fulfillment, and that's what we should all do. So today I'll be taking you on the topic top myth about writing debunked. Okay, hope you all know what myth is. Well, if you don't, it means the common misconceptions and false beliefs that are not true. So I'll start by posing a question to you all. What are those common misconceptions you've had about writing? What are those false beliefs you've heard or read from someone that has hindered you from writing those brilliant ideas in your head? Well, some common myths about writing have made us believe that becoming a writer is impossible. Other myths have made us believe that becoming a writer is too easy. Well, people often believe that writers are this poor set of people that spend their day writing, reading, or engaging in boring tasks. But if you've been fed with lies like this, you'll be surprised to learn that they are all false. So, what are those myths about writing that you've believed all your life? Today, we'll be identifying the top myths about writing and debunking these notorious myths once and for all. So, which brings us to our first myth, which is writers are poor. Yeah, we are writers talika. Anyone who still believes this, well, probably doesn't know that writing is a profitable career. Yes, hope you know that writing is actually a profession, and you can make tons of money from writing professionally. Professional writers work as columnists, reporters, social media managers, screenwriters, script writers, content strategists, content marketers, and a host of others. And it still comes as a surprise when I tell people that I write. professionally. They want to know how much I earn and why I chose such a profession. Well, we should know that courses like creative writing and journalism, they're professional courses that people go to the university to study, just like law, engineering, medicine, and so on. So no, writers are not poor, and writing is actually a profession, and you can make a living out of writing. Yeah. So our next myth is that writing is a solitary activity. Well, the fact that writers sit in front of their computer doesn't mean that they are isolated. Gone are the days when writers had only pen and paper. It is quite opposite now. The writers of today, they battle with newsletter subscriptions, blog comments, social media comments, and so on. And several writers are engaged in several writing forums and groups. They review books and they make friends on these forums. And now, with the advent of social media, we have writers all over the place showcasing their talents and meeting other writers. Personally, I don't know what I would have done without social media. I mean, I've met fantastic writers on this platform. It has also granted me the opportunity to showcase my talents, to publish my write ups, and receive feedback from readers. So now you agree with me that writing isn't a solitary activity. So another false belief that we've been fed about writing is that writers should only write when they are inspired. This is a big lie. Oh. If you wait for the muse, it won't turn up. Yeah, you have to sit down at your desk and put those thoughts into words. So writers must learn how to get inspired and stay inspired. They also need to learn how to be productive, even without feeling inspired. Because if this is not done, it might be impossible to produce anything at all. Well, one writer recently posted a meme on her Facebook page. Someone had written something like, "Oh, writing is that thing you do when you open a Word document and you go ahead and clean your house and cook," something like that. And when I read it, I laughed because it's the fact. It takes a lot, like a whole lot, to sit down and write. So no writer would wait until they feel inspired. You have to sit down there and start writing. I can also do you can also seek several things that can assist you, that can motivate you to write. Like for example, I love tea or coffee. So once there's a mug of something steaming, if there's something steaming beside me, I'm always more inspired to write. So you can I also like chips, like yeah, cracking chips or crackers when I'm writing. So you can just look for some things that can motivate you to start writing. Okay, so our next myth is that writing cannot be learned. You know, some people have approached me complaining that I'm lucky to know how to write, that they wish they could write, and it all fascinates me because writing is a skill that can be learned. No one was born a fantastic writer from the womb. No, it has never happened and it will never happen. So if you want to write, just go ahead and write. Not writing will actually reduce your self-confidence and it will increase anxiety. So don't be like one of those that lament that I can't learn writing. Where do I start from self? Wait, I better learn something else. No, you can actually learn writing. You can learn how to write. So the next false belief about writing that we've been fed is that writing is born out of pure talent. Well, like I mentioned earlier, no one was born a fantastic writer. They pass through several stages to become one. Talent is only a booster, but it's not what makes someone a successful writer. And there is no single ingredient that leads to success. Yes, talent helps, no doubt. Why it helps? Self discipline, hard work, commitment. It helps a lot. And just like any other skill, it takes hard work, perseverance, and self discipline to become a great writer. The first speaker yesterday, um, what's her name? I'm trying to remember.
Rahima will be
I'm
chatting.
trying. Yes, exactly. She talked about how J.K. Rowling was rejected over 12 times before her work could be accepted. If it's just and it takes a lot to still understand,
To
to
still
not give up.
persevere, to
Yes,
not give
yeah,
up.
yeah, to not give up. Despite even with the fact that your work was rejected over 12 times. So yeah, writing is not born out of pure talent. It takes a lot to become a successful writer. So our next myth is that writing is easy for real writers. Real writers
Writing is
one.
hard. Writing is so hard, God.
Which one is real writers
It's
again?
so
Well,
hard.
writing is actually challenging for everyone. Yeah, it takes a lot of tasks to produce a great work. So do not believe the myth that says that real writers find writing easy.
Easy.
Yeah. Writing, it doesn't get easier with time, it just gets faster. So meaningful writing comes from a lot of work, and the experienced writer that you see out there, they've only made a habit out of writing. So it's if writing doesn't come easy to you and you struggle to put your imagination into words, there are only two possible explanations. First one, you need more practice, or two, you need to choose another means to express yourself. For example, mural painting or singing in the shower. Yes, singing in the shower. Just look for ways. Yeah. Okay. Our next false belief is that reading more will make you a better writer. Okay, I know some of us might want to dispute this particular myth. Well, yes, reading will make you a better writer. There's no doubt about that, but it is not entirely true. Reading more will make you a better writer and make you more knowledgeable, but writing alone will make you a better writer. So you only become a better writer when you sit down and you jot those thoughts into words and express them clearly. So our next myth is that writers are introverts. Yeah. So most of us, yeah, most of us actually believe that writers are those shy set of people that wear large goggles, like my own, and spend a major part of their day in front of their computers, isn't it? I'm sure most of us believe that. But well, some some writers are, but not all. Writing can be seen as a skill that introverts would love because it is easier to express your thoughts just by sitting by the computer instead of having the fear of addressing the crowd. But you should also note that not all writers are introverts. We have writers who are extroverted and who enjoy speaking in public. I mean, I've met writers that are professional public speakers. I've met writers that hold mentorship programs. I've met writers that teach and spend a major part of their day addressing the crowd. So, no, not all writers are introverts. Okay. So, another false belief is that writing happens in the same sequence as reading. Yeah, some people actually think that writers start by writing the words chapter one and they continue like that until the end. Yeah, we believe that writers type chapter one on their computer and film they continue that way until the end. Well, it's a lie. Oh. Several writers they start in the middle of a chapter and they work ways to make it complete. They rewrite and they revise until they produce what is expected. Yeah. So our next myth is something virtually everyone believes, and I keep wondering why. Like, why do people believe that a double novel is a writer's first novel? I mean, do you know the number of drafts the writer had written before coming up with the final one?
Ah.
So, so which brings us to our next myth that a double novel is a writer's first novel. Hmm. Every work of art needs a rough draft, sorry. And this is why writers usually write several drafts before a novel is completed. So this means that they have written several novels before writing a publishable debut novel. So next time,
Publishable being the keyword.
so next time when you see a post like The Alchemist is Paulo Coelho's debut novel, or Born on a Tuesday is Nathan John's debut novel, or My Sister the Serial Killer is Wayne Braithwaite's debut novel, you should also realize that these writers They've written several novels before they came up with the final one. Yeah. So our next myth about writing is that you need to be a good writer before you can write professionally. Hmm. Well, this is like saying that you must be a chef before entering the kitchen, or you must be a teacher before entering a classroom. Like any other act, writing requires time and patience. So to write better, you ought to write, write, analyze your writing, and keep practicing by writing. And like I said earlier, no successful writer became one by chance. It started from somewhere, and you too can start from where they did. Okay. So another common myth that most of us believe is that writers should write what they know. Yes, the writer should write what they know. And you might want to dispute this myth with a thought like, how can I write about something I have no idea about? Well, a writer is not just a storyteller. A writer is an engineer, a doctor, an accountant, a scientist, a kidnapper, yes, a police officer, and so on. So, to become a good writer, you ought to be a good researcher. And writing what you know does not translate to working on a piece of work without conducting proper research. And all these successful horror and sci-fi authors, they spent a major part of their time conducting research and creating scenarios in their heads. So I'm wondering, doesn't it come as a surprise that a writer with no background at all in medicine will publish a work that gives a detailed depiction of health-related issues? Huh? That's because of research. So you shouldn't write what you know, rather you should write what you want to know. A writer is generally
Hmm.
an explorer. So they don't sit back without broadening their knowledge. It gets boring. They visit new places, they read new books, and they learn new ideas. Okay? So our next myth is that all writing requires the same level of skill. Hmm. Well, I guess this myth arose because writing involves combining words to make meaning. But however, you should note that writing a novel, writing instructions in a technical manual, or ghostwriting a celebrity memo, they all require different skills. Since their readership are different, so they require different skills. And because of this, they have different requirements. So it is the duty of the writer to meet those requirements. So another funny myth is that writing is easy and anyone could write if they try. Yeah, anyone could write if they try. Well, writing is not that easy. Just like learning how to ride a horse or becoming an athlete. Excuse me. It takes a lot of practice to become a good writer. So unlike those activities, though, nobody can say to you that, look at me, I'll show you how. Most writing is always a solitary private activity, much of which happens inside the writer's head. So if you watch me writing now, all you will see will be my fingers tapping on the computer keyboard while I stare at the screen. Your observations wouldn't tell you anything about how to write itself. But people often assume that writing is easy because they just see the finished work without knowing what it took, the effort that it took to produce such work. So anyone who writes must have done lots of practice, just like someone who is good in sports or any other activity. So, and last but not the least myth is the false belief that even writers believe, yeah, even writers believe what they believe, and it is none other than writer's block. Yeah, writer's block.
I don't believe in that actually.
Yeah, that disease that causes inspirational blockage is something people often talk about. Non-writers, they are amazed by writer's block, and aspiring writers, they claim they've experienced it before. But here's the truth: the writer's block, that condition that makes you uninspired to write. It's not real. Yeah, it's not real.
Yes,
So
it's not real.
yes. So are you out of inspiration and interest to write? Do you spend hours at a computer screen just staring at the blank page? Well, there are reasons why you might be experiencing such. It might be that you are fatigued, that you're nervous, or you're unconvinced to write. So you should find out what is preventing you from writing and you should try to take it away. Or stop using writer's block as an excuse, Jerry. Don't use it as an excuse. Okay. So we've successfully debunked 15 myths about writing.
15, that's
Please,
a lot.
yeah, please do not let these myths prevent you from honing your writing skills. They shouldn't prevent you from fulfilling your dreams of becoming a published writer. And you should also remember that life is short. Yeah. So if you keep making excuses because of these false beliefs, you might be unable to make a difference in this world by writing. So you should dust that book or you should clean your computer and you should start writing today. Yeah. So thank you so much for being a part of this lecture. This concise lecture. Jazakumullahu khairan. May Allah forgive the speaker and listeners. And I also want to
mean,
appreciate and I also want to thank Hafsa bint Noreen for granting me the opportunity to speak with you
it
guys and
was
to serve as inspiration to you. Yeah. So if you have any questions, you can address them now before we call it a day. And if you have any personal questions and other issues you would like to discuss with me, you can send a mail to mariam802@gmail.com. It is spelled MAREEAM802@gmail.com. And you should also find time to visit my blog. You'll see several thrilling and entertaining articles on my blog. It is mariamnitiwall.com.
don't worry, we'll
Thank you
link
very much.
everything in the description box. So everything will be in the description box afterwards. So anybody watching will
Okay.
find it
All
there.
right. Okay.
It was a pleasure
Okay.
having you. You did you did justice to the whole myths about writing. So
Me
many myths, so
writing.
many
Yeah.
myths about writing that people believe.
Yeah. So many of them.
People believe most of these things, if not all. People believe
Yes.
people believe,
Exactly.
and
Yes.
especially the first one you mentioned, that writers are poor.
Oh,
Especially
yeah.
you just imagine writers, sitting behind a broken down desk in a dingy room with lights and
Yeah.
staring at the computer, rats scurrying around the room.
Yeah.
Most times that's what people imagine when they think about writers.
Exactly.
But in
Yes.
fact, yes, it's right that you made it number one, because it's the one
Exactly.
people
Exactly. Should be
believe
the first.
most.
Yeah. Should be the top myth first.
Yes. Now, Jazakumullah khairan. Thank you for doing justice to the
Wonderful.
topic. So I'm going to go to our live viewers now. Please, if
Okay.
you have any questions, please drop them in the comments for Sister Miriam to get to them. She's seeing the comments. She can see the comments. So I was such a she can see the comments. So please
No,
drop your.
I can't see the comments actually. I can't see the comments. Okay,
You
let
can see the
me.
comments.
Okay, yeah, yes, I can see them now. Yes, I can.
You can see the comments. Okay.
I can. Okay.
So just drop them in the comments and she'll get to them, inshallah. And if you're watching the replay, please drop the comments. Miriam, some people may not, some of the attendees are not here now. They can't watch for one reason or the other. So they're going to get to this broadcast. So if they have any questions, some of them will drop them into the comment section. So we'll get them over across to you. Is that okay? Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Okay, yes, that's very okay.
Okay, so they'll drop them or
That's very
they may,
okay. Yes, I can
they
hear
may
you.
connect
Can
with
you hear
you
me?
on. Yes, I can hear you. Mr. Maryam, I can hear you now. So they will connect, or either they drop them here or they connect with you via the links that will be dropped in the description box. I'm going to drop the links to your social media and your email in the description box so they will get to you. So be expecting those
Okay.
emails or friend requests, inshallah. So I think you can see some comments here. There's a
Yes, I
question.
can.
You can see the question. Hmm. It's a very good question.
Okay, let me. Okay, but how? Okay. Okay, I can say, but how does one walk through these
These
myths?
myths
Sometimes people might not get past them to break
break from
free and write. I think the first step to getting through these myths is by debunking them. That's the first thing. Because these are lies that have been fed. They are things that we believed all our lives. So it might be difficult to debunk them. So the first step is to debunk all these myths about writing and to start writing. If you want to become a writer, the first thing I need to do is to start writing. So you debunk these myths. You should believe that they are all false, that they are things that have been created by some people. There are some excuses, and there are some excuses that some people have created to discourage them from writing. So you should debunk them. You should and you should start writing. Yeah.
There's another question.
Okay.
And
Okay. Yes. I have a friend who says writing is a serious business to her. So if she doesn't have a lot of time, then she can't get into writing. Writing. Okay. So if she doesn't have a lot of time, then she can't get into writing. What advice do you have to such person? Okay. Number one, I would like to. Every woman, we all have 24 hours to ourselves, and believe me, if you want to achieve all your goals, if you want to accomplish all your goals, it might be impossible. The 24 hours might be impossible to understand to use to accomplish all your goals. So you must learn how to um, like allocate your time in a way that you can
time.
accomplish the major goals. So if yeah, even if writing is a serious business to you, if you don't create time out of no time to write, you might never find the time because we are all busy. We all have a lot of things. You understand? So you must create time to write, and you shouldn't see writing as a serious business because if you do, it might discourage you from writing. And you should start small. You can start by um, writing a page. You can start by saying that okay, I would start with writing only a page every day, and from then you can increase it to 3 pages and 5 pages. So I would advise you to start small, to not see writing as a serious business. Yeah, start small and to create time to write. Yes, because if not, you will never find the time to write. You keep saying that is serious and I don't have time. I have this to do and I have that to do, and you never find that time to write. You just have to create time and start writing.
Now that's very very correct. You have to create time to do what you want because if not, you just keep giving that excuse over and over again, and then you end up not doing anything at all. Yes, I agree with that. Yeah, it's very few
Exactly.
excuses some people created. Yes. Um, nice. Thank you, everyone in the comments.
Okay.
Thank you. Are there any more questions? Do we have any more questions from everyone in the comments? Because I forgot to tell every other person that joined to please drop where you're watching from in the comments. But that's by the way. So, do you have any more questions? Are there any more questions? Let's see them in the comments. Just give it a few minutes. If there are any more questions, do you have anything you'd like to add, Maryam?
No, I don't. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So, in the absence of questions, I think we're going to end our presentation, our first presentation for the day. We're going to end it right now. It was insightful, it was mind-blowing, and I thoroughly enjoyed you debunking those myths, especially the first one. So, thank you everyone that joined us live. Please, if you're watching the replay, if you have any comments or suggestions or questions for the speaker, please drop them in the comments and we will get back to them, inshallah. So we're going to say,
thank you so much. Jazakallah khairan.
Ameen. Thank you for coming on and doing this. Jazakumullah khairan, may Allah reward you. So everyone in the comments, please go to the description box and go and check out Sister Maryam's work on her website, and our social media links will also be included, so get in touch with her. So we'll see you by 12 p.m. when we'll be having the topic productivity accelerators for writers unveiled. You won't want to miss that. So, assalamu alaikum.